Island Tea Time 8:04. It's silly season in the UK, and I guess you can say France as well. Here it's just summer season.
Good morning to everybody. I trust that everyone is having a wonderful morning so far. I know we had a bit of rain, we had some winds. I trust and pray that everyone is safe within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I pray for our brothers and sisters across the region, the Caribbean region. As you know, Hurricane Beryl, she is developing strongly. She is now, based on information that I received and read, potentially up to a category 5, potentially, or has the potential to be a category 5.
Yeah, that starts at 157, and so it was clocked at 150 last thing we know. But did you see any of those videos from Barbados?
Yes, I saw. You saw
St.
those.
Vincent and so on?
Yeah, I saw some.
Except one of the St. Vincent videos was, I don't know why people do stuff like that. One of them was an old, you know how people just for likes will just, there's a hurricane, let me look for some hurricane footage and put it up just to get some likes.
So one of them was an old video.
Yeah, but which doesn't take away from the fact that it's not pretty.
Yes.
Because they took you could say the Grenadines took a direct hit.
Yeah.
And the Grenadines are both St. Vincent and Grenada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And here
and Barbados, I
yeah.
didn't think, I saw, I saw a video last night with water. It looked to be at least like knee deep, maybe even mid-thigh deep. It looked like, it almost looked like that bus terminal down in Bridgetown, because it looked familiar. So
you know what I saw? I saw some boats docked.
Yeah, they said the Jolly Roger sank. Isn't that one of those
I saw
entertainment
they said a
nightlife
type
party
boat sank as well? And I'm like, this is crazy.
Two of them apparently,
And I said, these natural disasters, they are pretty strong. I know some persons appreciate hurricanes in the fact that they like, the wind and the rain, but they do cause devastation and to life and livelihood. And here there was a post by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Jamster, Dr. Keith Rowley, and he spoke out following the passage of Hurricane Beryl, and he posted on his Facebook page in a quick post on Monday night, and he said, Trinidad and Tobago survived Beryl without too much bruising. I extend my sympathies. I extend my sincerest thanks to all my colleagues in Carriacou who reached out to commit assistance to the people of TNT, even as the hurricane was bearing down upon us. We stand ready to offer support to Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines at this time, as we pray there, but for the grace of God go I. And so and that was a statement made by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago on his Facebook page. And the article, which is a loop article, which mentioned that post on the Prime Minister's Facebook page, it says, Carriacou, a small island off of the coast of Grenada, and Union Island, one of St. Vincent and Grenadines, were among the hardest hit areas. One death was confirmed in St. Vincent. Carriacou nationals have already announced plans to come together to aid territories requiring assistance.
Yeah, but our news, WINNFM News this morning had a report of the Prime Minister convening a meeting.
Of Grenada?
Discuss. No, here.
Oh, here?
Yeah,
okay.
I think with the NEMA and so on to, I guess, to discuss.
Yes.
Maybe assistance and so on.
Yeah, I see. So it is a number of things are happening. As we said before, we have it's a summer, and ironically, what you thought would have been, summer is known to be hot, but we also know during the summer period is associated with tropical storms and stuff like that, at least in our part of the world.
Easy, you know what they. It's deeply foreboding that
Yeah.
we now have had a hurricane this powerful this early.
And so soon. You realize how.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
early. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think this has ever happened.
And the magnitude in which it developed, the pace
yes.
and magnitude is like, what? You.
And then you kind of you like, you know, maybe we shouldn't be. Look at how hot it was for the last few months. You know.
But you know what they say, the hotter the time period just before is usually would talk to the intensity of these natural disasters.
Yes, June, June, July, but still, very early.
It's still very early.
Yeah.
Usually we don't get these things until a couple months later
September.
down. Yeah, September. I maybe
even
August.
Even August, you used to think of as kind of early.
Yeah.
Well, July was definitely.
But this is June.
This is
yeah,
June, July.
Yes.
But you could say June because it actually started in the you could say the final hours.
Yeah, because we're only in the 2nd of July.
Yeah, 2nd of July. So
by the 30th of June, we had already been hearing about this. So, we all have to be careful out there. And based on this is an article that says the National Hurricane Center has officially, and this is from Loop News, it says has officially labeled Hurricane Beryl as a Category 5 storm. It says in the 11 p.m. update, the NHC says that recent data from the NOAA Hurricane Hunters indicates that maximum sustained winds have increased to near 160 miles per hour with higher gusts. Beryl is now potentially a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. And it says, it's a Category 5 hurricane, possible Category 5. So, and based on what is being said, Jamster, it's on path to Jamaica.
Well, I was actually.
Oh, there's something in the background playing, Jamster.
No, because I was looking for something.
Oh, okay.
Here. No, don't worry.
Yeah.
Something related. Yeah, I was looking at.
Yes.
Because when I was looking at the path yesterday, it looked like it was gonna more or less go off to the northwest and basically stay in the Caribbean Sea, Western Caribbean Sea, until it got to maybe the Yucatan Peninsula. But so if it tracks a little bit to the east or the northeast, then Barbados. But then with those kinds of winds and given the size of the storm, I guess either way Jamaica is probably gonna get.
Yeah, Jamaica based on, but these storms, they change path so often, ever so often, and so based on what I last read, it seems as though it's on its way in the path of Jamaica. So we to our Jamaican brothers and sisters, we pray for your safety, and we hope that there is not damage to lives and livelihood. We know that there has been one death recorded in one of the Caribbean islands as it relates to the hurricane, the aftermath. I saw videos whereby their roof were just taken off.
I'm looking at
yes.
I'm looking at a virtualization of the forecast for the tracking for the next few hours.
Yes.
Jamaica is looking like a direct hit.
That's what I'm saying. So based on what I last read this morning, Jamaica was in the path.
Oh my God.
So she's going up to Jamaica. Based on what is being indicated now to us. And she has moved pretty quickly though. That's pretty quick, I think. And, we have to give God thanks, here in St. Kitts and Nevis we have.
And then Belize looks
blessed.
like it's Belize, and then Mexico as well later on if it keeps that track.
Yes. So we all have to be careful. We have to monitor it because this is the first one out in such an early time. And so there is the possibility of others coming.
This piece I'm reading here, it actually said that Beryl is hands down the strongest hurricane ever at this time in history.
Yeah.
Category 4.
Yeah.
That's wow.
And the thing about it, thankfully she has been to me at least, in the water areas more so than a lot of the land mass based on what I have seen, what I've heard. So at least there's some grace in that. If you look at the coastlines, Jamster, this morning, down by the Beryl, they're terrible, especially up by the Newtown area, by the what we call the industrial site. And just imagine, were not in direct direction of Beryl. We were not in Beryl's direction, direct path. And look at the even the effects that she has had on our.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it was clear.
Yes.
Early evening last night, there was some squally rain.
Yes.
So it was clear that was maybe the outer bands causing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at some video here of Carriacou, and a lot of the houses like just
They lost the roof.
Wooden house,
Yeah.
and wooden houses, and oh my God.
If you look, and then you look at it, and you look at the power of these things, because, like, just in the snap of the eye, you look at the footage, and you see the roofs, the roof of a house just being lifted as if it was nothing. You understand? You see boats being drifted on the water, as if it was nothing. Like as if it. And you just, like the party boat that you mentioned, I saw a video with that. And it's a huge boat. It's on the water. It went on the water. It's crazy. We just have to be thankful and prepared. I saw in some snaps, the Prime Minister of Grenada, I think he had a press conference just last evening or thereabout, where he addressed the nation, and he spoke about his government's steps to assist those persons, in Carriacou, and who have been affected. So we have to really be thankful for small mercies here in St. Kitts.
Oh, let me correct you.
Yes,
let me correct myself.
Oh,
Beryl strengthens into the earliest Category 5, so it probably earliest Category 4 as well, but Beryl strengthens into the earliest Category 5 Atlantic hurricane on record after devastating the windward as well.
yeah. Beryl is definitely going down in the history books. And thankfully, a lot of the land masses weren't directly over her direction, because it could have been worse. Imagine it going up the Leeward Islands in this path of our islands. It would have been terrible. So thankfully, we at least have that. Today is July 2nd, July 4th. Just person's reminder, it's the UK elections there in the United Kingdom. It's Thursday election day, and persons are going back to the poll. They're going back to, election vibes again. And number of things are happening.
So King Charles is going to have his twin for PM.
Well, based on what all the pollsters are saying, the news agencies, the reports that you're hearing, it seems like it's going to be a super majority, they're saying, and victory for the Labour Party in the UK. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Open the door, please.
Say that again?
I'm asking if Johnson can open the door, please.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. Yes, he
Thank
can.
you so much.
Yes, yes. So we have the elections in the UK, and for those persons who are unaware, the UK is experiencing now its campaign mode in the UK. They've had so many things going on in relation to the election. Of course, many persons in the UK, they predicted a later time for the elections. Rishi Sunak announced the elections to the surprise of many when he did. In fact, when he gave the announcement, it was done outside of number 10 Downing Street, and while he was making that announcement, the rain was actually pouring down. And so, many persons looked at that happening and made their own conclusions. Persons are going to use those sort of effects, those sort of environments to say what they may in terms, superstition and, maybe forecasting, of events or foreshadowing of events. So, it is very interesting in the UK. And we see that over the last 14 years, when it comes to the Conservative Party, we see that they've had, change of leadership very often, and even change of leadership of the party and prime minister without going through a general election. And so we have seen in 14 years, because they've been in power for 14 years, starting with David Cameron and now ending, it seems, with Sunak, if the polls are correct, if persons are predicting correctly the outcome of Thursday's election. And so you have the UK and the Conservative Party, they would have been so many different issues. They had 14 years. Under that 14 years, you have seen, especially in recent time, COVID-19, the impact of COVID-19. We've seen the effects of the war in Russia and Ukraine. You've seen so many talks about immigration. The economy is something that is in discussion, especially as it relates to the cost of living that is rising. We see that they have had to, some level of instability, I would say, and in terms of, at least outside, looking in, from an outside perspective, looking in, because you have seen that they've had a change in leader very quickly, very shortly over the couple of years. We've seen where they had Boris Johnson stepping down, then they had Liz Truss, then they had Richie Sunak. So they've had change of leadership, and of course, even during this campaign time, they've had an unfortunate event in terms of having to face allegations of a gambling scheme that alleges participation of persons even in the members of the Conservative Party. And so it has not been, I assume, a very easy time for the Conservatives. And if you listen to Richie Sunak as he speaks about what is happening and as he debates Starmer, much of what he's saying, he's talking about the Conservatives' plan for the UK, sticking to the plan and criticize his opponents by saying that they have no plan. But of course, on the ground, persons are feeling unsatisfied with the performance. It seems when you listen to a lot of the persons express their view via the media, it seems as though they're not necessarily in favor of a Labour Party, but a better performance of the Conservative Party that they don't have now. And so it's basically going, if you listen to many of the persons, the less of two evils.
It's
at
funny.
This time.
I was just going to ask you if you think, well, I get the sense the UK is another one of those countries where people, it's like the Labour Party as a UK and global institution, you could say, a political institution, is so much a part of maybe the UK psyche that it's sort of like the come to mama solution when things go bad. So is that the same here, would you say?
Expound on it more.
Meaning people might not want to vote for the Labour Party, but there really aren't any good options when maybe the governing party, which the governing non-Labour party is governing. It's sort of like, well, you guys are screwing around, so I'm going to hold my nose and vote for the Labour Party. Of course, we have the Labour Party supporters who are going to vote for the Labour Party regardless of the stench.
It's mainly, I would say, the opposite in a sense. I don't think persons are in the UK, based on much of the media. I mean, I'm not on the ground to know, so I take much of my information from what I see on the media platform. And so based on what I see on the media platform is that, persons are saying that it's not necessary that they're so in support of the Labour Party there, but due to all that is happening, they expected the Conservative to do better, and they seem not to be impressed by that, and so
That's actually
they're going to
kind
give
of.
somebody
Well, wouldn't you say
chance.
that's an indictment of the other parties, though? Because there's the Liberal Party,
Yes.
but yet people default back to the Labour Party, and I use the word default deliberately because that's the sense I get.
Yes.
People, whatever problems they have with the Labour Party, it seems as though they feel safer. Because let's face it, the Liberal Party and the Labour Party are more or less the same as far as
I think the history of Labour parties have been one whereby they have traditionally been, talk about the unions, they talk about that. So they've traditionally been
so
there.
there's a
very
lot
long.
of there's a lot of positive sentiment there. I
Maybe
guess
some connection, but in the same light, I think as persons grow and as the electorate change and become, different, that kind of connection is waning. I think that you had the Conservative Party for about 14 years, and they've really had some really tough uphill battles.
Has it been 14 years?
Yeah, based on what I understood. So, so you had Brexit.
Damn.
Brexit was a whole issue, with Theresa May going through and trying to lead the party the country during that time.
And let's not forget the Windrush thing that she's responsible for.
And then in addition to that, right, you had COVID-19, and in addition to that, you had UK, the Russia war, the Ukraine war, that has impacted a lot in terms of the globe, in terms of the economies. And then you had the Liz Truss there for about 45 days, and a lot of her policies, based on reports that you've seen, would have led to even higher rates of inflation and, the banks calling out and stuff like that. So that was really, I think, a very critical moment right there and then, even though it was a short time based on what reports have indicated. And so I think, and then you had Richie Sunak who came in, and then, the economy, tried to level off the economy, call a quick election, thinking that this might be the best that it could be, and try to focus on the economy, but not really happening as best as I think he thought it would have been. And we have a caller. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Good morning to everybody.
Hi, good morning, Gregory. Yes.
With greetings in Jesus' name to everybody.
Yes.
Now, I would like to say that I wish all the spiritual best and blessings for everybody who was impacted by the hurricane. It's a very sad situation. And, I would just like everybody to just reflect that God is in control of everything. And for us whom he has spared of it, I just like to give God all the thanks, praise, honor, and glory for it all, because it could have been us, but by the grace of God and blessings of God, he steered it away from us.
Yes.
And just like to thank God, Jesus Christ, who is God Almighty, just like to thank Jesus Christ for everything. And as to the English situation that you all are speaking about, the politics, what I would say is that man is so blind, so fatally and deadly blind when he is living in disobedience to the word of God and rejected it.
Okay. Thank
you very much
for your contribution, Gregory. Yes.
Okay.
I had a clip here of I kind of have mixed feelings about this because I always see a clip of it looks like either a tourist or expatriate living in Carriacou and talking about and appealing for help. But I have mixed feelings about this because I remember when the tsunami happened in Indonesia, and there were all these think pieces about white people centering themselves in stuff that in places where they probably shouldn't have been. And like for example, I think it was when there was a movie that came out based on the tsunami.
Yeah.
And I remember reading all these think pieces, and so people thought it was kind of problematic that you had a tsunami affecting a part of the world where these people don't really live, except for Australia and New Zealand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here the movie is centered around them. All the characters in the movie centered around white people, when and there was no representation from the people who actually would bear the brunt of the aftermath, the effects and the aftermath of the tsunami. So this video, Sharon sent it to me, and I thought I should share it. But then when I was watching it, I was kind of getting Indonesia tsunami vibes. It was Christmas there when it happened, I remember. But I think it's important. I don't know, maybe we should leave it for later, because it seems it's kind of long. So,
yeah, we do have some time.
Yeah,
so
we can leave it till later.
Based on now the U.S., it's been back and forth with the Trump, Biden, the U.S. Supreme Court just yesterday or the day after, or the day about, let me say. The U.S. court rules Trump has absolute immunity for official acts. So this is the article here by The Guardian, and it was published on July 1st.
But you have to say the court said that the lower courts have to determine what official means.
Yes, that is the area now. Really and truly, yeah. When I saw that and I read that is the area to now determine what really is an official act.
This is where everybody should go out and vote Democrat now, so that they can have the supermajority to put term limits and to put a code of ethics and to expand the court.
Yes,
that's what they're asking for.
Yes, so
I feel like that's what they should base.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they should base the Democrats now should base the election on.
And I mean, if you read this here, right, it says the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the former presidents are entitled to some degree of immunity from criminal prosecution, a majority victory for Donald Trump that guts the 2020 election subversion case against him and any prospect of a trial before November. So it says the court's conservative majority, which Trump helped create, found 6-3 that presidents were protected from prosecution for official actions that extended to outer parameters of his office, but faced charges for unofficial conduct. And as you said, Jamso, you said it rightfully, the official conduct or duties would be, they put it to the law courts to determine that. And so it's going to be interesting. Basically, as it says here, to determine whether Trump's alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election results were official acts, the Supreme Court remanded the case back to the presiding U.S. District Judge, Cutclan, who will have to review the indictment line by line. So that is going to take some time there. So basically, giving immunities to former presidents for official acts. So interesting.
Let's take this call in the meantime.
Yes, we have
call.
A call.
Go right ahead.
Good morning, Jamster and Azard.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh well, I'm not as good as you all, Are you?
Say that again.
So you are too great.
Oh, thank you. Likewise to yourself. Yes.
Okay, I'm humble, man. I'm humble.
Yes.
Now, I want to say something here.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw has dead and gone. And he was a man of what you call discipline. Because discipline don't change, but people do.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bradshaw realized when he was premier.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be every guy for. There used to be all types. Some of them look like cigarettes. You haul a matchbox on them and you show them and you pow. Then they had some little gun, 1 barrel, 2 barrel, and 4 barrel. You buy a cork bullet and you push it in the barrel, and then you pull the trigger, and it fire up, and it sound like a real gun, pow, but not as hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mr. Bratcher decided, well, he don't want those guns imported in St. Kitts anymore.
Yes.
So he banned that kind of gun. And then somebody broke the rule, and they bring them in, and then Mr. Bratcher make sure he get rid of them. And then now they come with these, what you call, war explosive bombs. I know the Lego one down in Boyd's village some years ago, and it rocked up an elderly woman's heart, and she died from that. She didn't die on the spot, but she died from it after, not too long after. No, it was banned. That certain kind of explosive not supposed to be in the country. But somebody got some godfather and some auntie, some uncle up high, and they were able to import them. Well, it gone further than that kind of bomb now, you know. What they got is what you call bunker busters. Just either Thursday or Friday night. We all heard some of them explode. And it was after 11 in the night. When the first one let go, it frightened me. I said, what that boy? Don't tell me you got Israel and Palestine operation right here. And then after that, they went pow, 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 pow. I don't know who had to rack up or who traumatized. But that is bad. People must not do those kind of things. If they want to bust them bomb, bust them when the sun is up and people can see what's going on. Not in the night, because you do not know when one is real from fake. And it's time for those who make the laws for those kind of things to clamp down on them and be serious about importing those things in the country.
Hey, Culture, I was thinking Saturday night, if you were in town and you heard the fireworks at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? You'd be
Sunday morning.
Well, yeah, Sunday morning. If you had heard that, you're talking about those little firecracker things.
He'll have called in.
Yes.
He'll have been waiting to call into Island.
I'm telling you, he'd have been on the warpath all day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you all experience them for yourself too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people talking about it, but they're talking about those things under the arm. Mm. The people who make the rules and laws and regulation, they're not going to hear them if they talk under the arm. Mm-hmm. That is why you have the media platform.
Correct.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes. I'll continue to listen.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Culture. Thank you so much for your for giving us what you have contributed this morning and for listening and participating. We're going to take a short break. We'll get back to you, Island T.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's new and only at ICWI, the insurance company of the West Indies. Receive free windscreen cover when you purchase your third-party policy with ICWI. You heard right. Free windscreen cover with your third-party policy for only a limited time. If you're a third-party policy holder, take advantage of this limited time offer and switch to ICWI for added protection. Is it the time you experience insurance the ICWI way? Conditions apply. Click, call, or visit ICWI today. Visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road. Call 465-8753 or ICWI.com.
Here are your Hotspots Value Mart IGA special.
Running June 27th to July 10th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Kraft mayonnaise, just $24.99. Post cereals, cocoa, Fruity Pebbles, Oreo, honeycombs, $12.99. Your Play yogurt, $3.55. Essential everyday sliced cheeses, just $8.99. Fabuloso disinfectant, $18.99. For our bath tissue, double roll, $20.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals! Mueller's pasta, $5.99. Hygiene Essential Everyday Salad Dressing, $10.99. Hygiene Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $9.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.49. Hamad Deodorant, $8.99. Extra Liquid Laundry Detergent, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
And we are back. It's 8:40.
Yes, it is. And you know, at 9 o'clock, we're supposed to have Dr. Martin, as well back. Dr. Martin to speak about, sustainable development and, and how it can be a driver of our economy. And that's at 9. So as we still wait, and, we're going to talk about some other things that have been happening. And, very interestingly, in France is having their general elections again for, the parliament, and how it is done. It's not the election for the president. So Macron remains. He would remain as president at least for the next 3 years. And what they're going to be doing is the election for the law house, the parliament. And so they've had already the first round of elections, whereby they have over 500 seats to be won. I think the majority is about 286. So based on that, they've had the first set of elections. The second is going to be the second set of elections, meaning that they're going back again and casting their vote for the second time in these constituencies, would be on July 7th.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So, and how it is, right, is that basically you have the opportunity. So if you get 50% the first time or more,
That's it.
Mm-hmm. It's decided as won, done, settled. If it is, though, that you get less than the 50%, no party has amassed a 50% majority in that seat within that particular seat, and then you go back for a second time. And so they usually do the top two and any other person or party, let's say, that received 12.5% of the percentage. But it's also strategic in the sense that, you already have in your mind the outcome from the first round. And so what you might see happening is persons either backing down, compromising, making arrangements between themselves for a particular outcome. Yes. And so we have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Yes, good morning, Island T.
Good morning. How are you, Jam Dong?
Well, I'm fine in the kitchen here with some nice buds making me tea.
Yes.
Some good ganja tea.
Yes.
And I asking the poor people who suffer with glaucoma and all kind of illnesses to take a sip of the ganja tea.
Yes.
Because that is the healing of the nation.
Yes.
That will take care of you. Azard.
Yes.
I was in the circus yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And a good friend of mine come up with a post from Mark Bradley.
Uh-huh.
Well, they got time to laying a post. And he's the minister of position, and we can't even hear from him.
When you talk about the post of Matt Brantley, you're referring to the post made recently in terms, because he makes many posts.
The recent post he put out talking about making noise and the music festival. Matt Brantley must come last year. Come last year to see what's going on in last year. I saw one with Marsha too.
Mm-hmm.
Marsha should go and do the work. Come down to Port Zanta and see what's supposed to be done down there. The rest kept running away. The pilot in the Pelican Mart should have done fix. Don't tell me nothing about you going to fix.
Well, Jamdang, you mentioned, and I'm here looking for the post that you're talking about. I'm seeing one that Marsha.
I won't come back. I want to
Marsha.
the country.
Marsha.
Because me don't understand the
Okay. So the
See?
honorable.
Everyone in them is foolish, you know. He's not foolish. Field Day is done. See? Field Day is done. I will be back.
Okay. So
Read the post.
Okay.
It
So
should be ashamed of damn self.
so you mentioned 2 posts, and you talk about the Honorable Marsha Henderson and Mark as well.
Mark Brantley.
Okay. So
Marsha got time to telling people they should hush them out. But they didn't hushing them out when they vote for you, Marsha. You better behave yourself and get out of them stupid talk, you know. The people put you to do no stupidness. Go and work for the people. I want you go down the card in home and put outlet by every bed. That them patients down there don't be slaughtering with the heat. The piece of cardboard a fan. Doctor, you go down there and correct that. You say it's the minister. I heard go down the infirmary and correct that for me. Otherwise I'm going to blow the eye. I will be back. Read the post.
okay. So
There
there.
should be a shame
there-
of yourself.
So I am aware of the posts that you're referring to because I saw them as well. I saw them as well. And
And you can't get public works go down there and put just run some line by the sick people in bed. The place so hot. So hot. But I'm going to get me an iPhone and I'm going there and take it and send it around. I ain't gonna shame young boys. No kind of shame. The only one is reaching out to the people in summer. Only summer reaching out to West Island. I'm going to tell you something in Jeffrey, you know, where he doing some t-shirt, you know. When he doing some t-shirt, a man dead. What's some t-shirt? He paid $100,000. And Bill, who relative to Jeffrey? Bill, 200 and something thousand. Jeffrey didn't. Nepotism. Jeffrey didn't family the job. Why these people crazy?
okay.
You see where the kind of thing that will happen? It will happen. And we can't run something up because poor people are going to take the slaughter in.
Okay.
And watch how you take advantage of the people treasury. The men over there better than all and all who trying to come and bring our kind of in the end of the year to demonize him. I can't demonize him once you go around here. I will defend him. Anywhere you can go, I will be there. Because better than and I will be back. Read the post.
Okay, so the post that you're referring to, I assume, because you said it in relation to music festival. So, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, 16 hours ago, there was a post that says, "Another successful weekend at the St. Kitts Music Festival. Our teams executed flawlessly as we introduced music to paradise, shining a spotlight on our destination. Actions speak louder than words, and I am honored to be leading the team at this time. Proud of our team's dedication and hard work." And also attached to that was a quote by Thomas Southwell that says, "Talkers are usually more articulate than doers." It says here.
Yes, just hang on a bit, caller.
It just says here, "Talkers are usually more articulate than doers, since talk is their speciality." So when I saw that quote, and caller, just hold on. When I saw that quote, I said, it seemed like a jab to persons who are critical, because it's a smart jab to them, saying that, you guys are talking because that is what you do, while we are, the ones who put the action towards our talk, or maybe talk less.
There's nothing really pejorative about criticism if you truly want to be better. You welcome criticism. It might make you uncomfortable, but you welcome it. It's like when you're a kid and you have to take your castor oil. You don't like how it tastes, but at the end of the day, you'll be better for it,
But
right?
you know what I really found interesting in this quote? The most any one of us could do is talk, because we are not in the seat of power.
Yeah.
We don't have control over the government resources. So all we can do, some of us, is keep the government's feet to the fire, because we are not in the driver's seat. So when messages like that, they send messages like that, I said to myself, well, we don't have the resources. You are the ones in government with the resources. You are supposed to be the doers. We talk amongst ourselves because we're, quite frankly, That's the best we
Yeah,
can
and
do.
and we have a right to comment on.
Yeah, that's
you know.
the right that we have as the electorate, and of course we don't have the power that you have to make the changes that you can make.
Okay, let's take the call before we
Yes,
get
caller,
cussed.
go ahead. Sorry.
Good morning.
Hey, good
to you
morning.
all, and happy to hear the discussion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I call in for two things. One is when the political things and like in UK and so forth.
Mhm.
But that only prove one thing. Even when you have to relate it here to our beloved nation. One, we could go back to the economic history and boom of St. Nevis. And only for me to amplify that, that is why people should vote for the People's Action Movement when that time comes again, because we have a history of development economically for not only just the businesses, but for individual persons. The facts are there, and the history is there, and we could look at certain things that could point out to that. For example, Southeast Peninsula, even the airport, if you want to put something into that, even the CBI, even though it would have changed dramatically from where it was, okay? And you could say a positive or a negative, but I could say so much into a negative because a lot of persons would even want to say a negative. But anyways, it was drafted by the People's Action Movement to help and to ensure our business sector develop. And at the end of it all, our people will be at the leading end. Because 51% of whatever business came in here was supposed to belong to either a business of St. Nevis or one individual or even a group of persons. But that would have changed, and we know what it is. When you touch, so I just want to say to the persons, when that time comes, even now, just look at what is happening now, and let us know, those young persons, ask your parents, ask your grandparents, or even check the history of St. Nevis, and lend your support back to the People's Action Movement. If you really want economic development and people first, that is the philosophy of the People's Action Movement. People first, country first, development of the people, development of the country. Because you know what? When you have people develop economically and whatever ways, the country will move. Because it takes people to get the country developed. The government is just the engine or the avenue to stir up that economic development, but it gives the people the opportunity. Yes, foreign investment is important, but local investment is even more important because it's your own people are developing, are getting wealthy and rich if you want to put it, and it's only better for our country. Now you touch the music festival. Yes, over the years we've been doing it. This article talk about the trend to assess how economically it is for to maintain our sustainable things that the world was. And yes, it's good to think because I would have seen some clips, and yes, they had a lot of personals compared to what they would have made in contrast to what they were saying at two different things. So yes, a review is important. And I know the People's Action Movement use with accountability. So even that music festival, we will also bring some accountability to that, to see how feasible it is, and to make sure at the end of it all, our people benefit. Because when I talk about people, we have a lot of local artists. Some persons might have different opinions on it, but at least if our people do not get the exposure, how would they become a superstar as the others that we brought? I'm into the martial arts as well. And my grandmaster used to say one thing, to make you better, exposure, 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 exposure. And if our people are denied that exposure, we have a problem. We will always, if we do not have anybody, compete at anybody to perform. Our young people, our older persons, our middle-aged people, every single body need that opportunity. And I must say one thing before I leave, gentlemen. St. Nevis is a democracy. One time we were dubbed the most democratic country ever in the world. I can't remember the exact term, but that's what it was determined as. You know why? Because freedom, even when the People's Action Movement was in power, you could have criticized or whatever. And now for someone to ask a question, you're saying they cannot ask a question. I even made a comment. That is their democratic right. That is their constitutional right. And you guys, Jam, so you're in the media, and Azard, I know you're one of the political leaders of PAM, but at least this is what we have to always push. Our country is a democracy. And therefore, there's a time for, whether if it is negative or positive criticism, it is a person's right. As long as they're in the confines of the law. Because we want our citizens and our country to be a law-abiding country, law-abiding citizens, and even residents, persons to abide by our laws. Do not defame personal support. At least you have a right to express yourself positively, legally, lawfully, without calling them. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
Do not be afraid as long as you're in doing things legally and lawfully. We have a democratic country, and even the government as well have a democratic right to express themselves. But at the same time, you have a right to express yourself, other persons have a right to express themselves. Thank you very much for giving me the time to say this. I hope I would have lent a voice or something and maybe stop another conversation. So God bless you guys. God bless St. Kitts and Nevis. God bless constituency 7.
Same to you.
Peace to all.
So thank you for your contribution. And again, I look at this quote. It says, talkers are usually more articulate than doers, since talk is their specialty. And I think this is like shade, as the young people would say, you know.
So who said that?
Oh, it was posted on the Honorable Marsha Henderson's page under the post when she congratulated her team.
So presumably she's the one who said that.
Well, it's on her page.
Okay.
It's under her post. It's been posted from her official page, Honorable.
So
Marsha
presumably
Henderson. So when I thought about that, I said to myself, well, persons are going to talk because they want to see better. They want to experience better, or they just have their opinions. At the end of the day, they don't have the resources of the state to put their talk into action, because they're not the minister of tourism in charge of the music festival.
Which is why
all they could do is give their opinion through their talk. You understand?
No, while I say criticism is important, a lot of times there are a lot of people who criticize without any really analysis and critical thinking behind. They're criticizing, but a lot of the times there's no critical thinking accompanying or that undergirds that criticism. A lot of it is just partisan talk, you could say. So in a sense, she's right.
But I am looking at the quote, right?
In a sense, she's right. But at the same time, they have to stop looking at criticism. I'm sorry. Criticism, makes you feel bad, but use it and be better. Use criticism as lemons and make lemonade.
Yeah, but if you're talking about the music festival right now, and the critics when they
I think culture. Yeah, culture. Go
culture.
Ahead.
Yeah.
Jamster, I agree with you. Criticism, it would make you either be better or be stagnant.
True.
When I first entered Warner Park to race bike, we had 4 races and I get 4 third. And when I was going home, a big man from Newtown followed me all the way down West Square Street, cursing me. Me and my girlfriend were going and we were following to catch a bus, and he cursing me. He mean well. He said, man, you make me lose money. But the way he cursed me was destructively. And I said to myself, you ain't going to get to criticize me again, you know. Not you. And I went and I improved. And I stepped up from third, and I reached up to in front first. So criticism is good. And they must remember that it's the same people who criticizing them when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Voted and put them there. And they're there to respond to our critique and do it better. If you're sleeping and the job and you're collecting the pay and you're working, we're going to talk about it. So stop sleep and work, or give up the work and continue to sleep. Now, I heard Mark Brantley sometime, couple months ago, last year, he was criticizing people when they're saying that they were wondering if they're going to get a double salary in December. You all hear me, right?
Yes, we're listening.
Yeah, he was criticizing it, saying some of them have been said they want double salary. And when you look at them, they're downtown in rum shop, in bars, drinking and doing the work. Well, he was pointing one finger at a lot of people, but 3 pointing back at he. Now he is the leader of the opposition in the House of Parliament. And from the moment the last election gone, the amount of, nobody perfect, but the amount of wrong things was deliberately done by this administration and is still doing to the country and to people. He hasn't one time opposed the wrong what they're doing, because he in the middle of the mattress down in the mattress under the sheet. How we so hugging up with them? Not because a man is your friend. If your friend doing wrong, tell him he wrong. And if he want to vex, that is his business. But you don't let, because he is your friend, lock down your conscience from speaking. Now come to the thing what Jam don't talk about down the infirmary. Last night, well, this is within 12 hours over here. The power went off 3 times. And from the time it went off, I said, Lord, I feel like to go out on the porch where I lie down and sleep. But out there, it's hotter than inside. So no fan will walk in. And can you imagine down the infirmary, people down there with cardboard fanning in this kind of heat? This is not Sink's heat alone, you know. This is global, and they know it. And instead of them going from plane every minute, taking money, going here, going there, if they tell them, well, boy, we come here, we going to get a boys true ball cricket match, or you come, they go in. Take the money and make sure them senior citizens down the infirmary, make sure they are comfortable. They have done their part in the country. Some of them waste the money, yes, but they can't help. When age come upon your sickness, look after the people, them. Thank you guys for listening.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, as we were saying, when I look at the quote, and again, I reiterate, there are going to be some persons who are going to talk and they're going to say what they feel in relation to the country, because at the end of the day, they don't sit in the seat of power. So the most they could do is speak about things that they want to see happening in the country.
Call, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Oh, hi, what's up?
Hi, good morning.
Yes, with regards to criticism, first of all, it's going to come whether you like it or not, okay? And the least person to be complaining about criticism are the politicians, because when they're running for office, nobody can criticize like them. And they just do an about turn once they get into office, and don't expect criticism as if they're perfect.
And the same, you made an interesting point, because the same persons who are shunning criticisms are the same one who criticize former administrations, and that is how they get into office. They've gotten into office.
And for the same things, surprisingly, they're the same things, like traveling, not getting their projects off the ground fast enough, jobs.
But honestly, Mr. McMahon, you said traveling, but I don't think that, at least for me, I never saw that the minister's traveling such an issue as it is now. And I think that is because of the constant travel and the large numbers that they carry with them.
And the large percentage of elected members
that leave
that tend to be off island at the same time, which to me is a problem.
And I think that is it, because before I've never really heard persons really criticize members of cabinet traveling. But again, as they do now.
There's a reason for that, and I think one of the main reasons for that is that the current government, I think more than the ones in the past, seem to feel that they can cover up everything by responding to whatever criticism there is. Whether the answers are good or bad, you have to get out there. And so they're definitely more visible in terms of the media and so on. So I think what happens is that they're so into photo opportunities that everything they do comes out there, right? And apart from it gets tedious and monotonous and boring, it also it gives the impression that unlike what they want to give, which is that they're working, it gives the impression that they're having a good time. Okay? And I think that kind of visibility out there does not. Do you work? Sometimes you need to just work quiet.
But when you say, but you make an interesting point, Mr. McMahon, because they have the photo, they have the social meet and greet, They have the TikTok video that says, I'm the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. But then at the end of the day, when they come back, you wonder.
There's a TikTok
there was
account?
there was a TikTok video going around. So at the end of the day, the people are still wondering, okay, you have made several foreign engagements. What have you brought back from these engagements?
The new narrative is that the new narrative is that it takes 2 years or 3 years for it to bear fruit.
Because I think if they're using this phrase that they're working abroad, but when you look at the pictures, you're seeing the smiles, you're seeing, and I'm wondering what work are you referring to, and in addition to that, what are you bringing back to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to say that this is what we went to do this, we had this discussion, based on our discussions and our engagement, we can look forward to this being done in our country. We're left.
That's the crux of it. If you see tangible things coming, and yes, everything is not going to materialize at one time. But you got to see something. You don't want to see a continuous stream.
But Harley, even that, Harley, you even get a real explanation as to the importance or significance of this travel, other than that we're working abroad.
I wouldn't frame it like that. I just like them to be transparent and tell us, okay, we're traveling here because for so and so, and then when you come back, you report us and tell us what transpired. It's just not even about what we're getting. That's not the point. Just tell us what it's about, because
what we're getting is important to John.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is we can't
because at the end of the day, your work at the end of the day is not, and no one.
Every single trip can be about what we get directly because of the trip.
As
soon as you come back, we get this.
But look at it this way, right? Look at it.
What is it building up to?
But look at it. You're in public office. It's a job. It's not a joyride. It's not your personal account. It's not your personal pleasures. You understand? You're put there to do the people's work, to do the people's business. Think of it as a business engagement. You go there and you're doing engagement, and it's for the people's business.
I hope.
So what is it are you bringing back to the people?
I hope Azard remembers this conversation if you ever get selected.
What is it that you're bringing to the people?
But you see, it's optics as well, right? If you're having things like what was just complained about, electricity going, whether it's water problems or whatever, there's something that is bad optics for a politician to be appearing overseas and living in luxury while you're home suffering.
Exactly.
Stay with your people.
Mr. McMahon, you see, I like that point you're making now. Look at it, right? If we have so many problems happening here now on the ground, if it is that they said, well, we're traveling, and based on what we've traveled, we've spoken to these persons, these investors, and this is what we're getting in order to solve some of the local issues and problems, then persons will say, well, go travel, do what you got to do, work for the people. Yeah. But when you see the traveling and the frequent flyer miles ranking up, and all you seeing is smiles and toasts and parties, then what are you bringing back to the people?
But you see too, right? I think the thing is, this started from day one, I think that's the problem. And while it could be forgiven for initially, getting your feet wet and, meeting overseas and that kind of thing, I'm saying by now they should have settled down and really study what absolutely needs to be traveled for and what can be farmed off to a civil servant somewhere or a PS or something down the line. Not you. Stay on the ground and drive. That's how I look at it. I mean, it's not all meetings. I was to a meeting and he don't see other ministers, he shouldn't be there. That's the long and short of it. Unless he was specially invited as a keynote speaker or something, he should not be there, right? You don't go as a minister to be talking to and negotiating with people who aren't your peers. No.
But look at this. Right? We had at one point in time, based on what reports have said to us, we had up to 5 of the 6 elected members off island at the same time.
Yeah, no coordination. It's obviously, I can't believe that they would have planned something like that. that, no coordination. I don't think, and that's unfortunate. We can't have all the ministers just doing their own thing without coordinating in cabinet and reporting in cabinet and planning in cabinet.
And wouldn't some of these travels be best suited in certain respects for the Minister of Foreign Affairs?
Well, I would say.
Not all, but in some of them.
There are three people. There are three ministers which I think would of necessity be traveling often. The foreign minister, the minister of tourism, and to a lesser extent the prime minister. Okay, the prime minister seals deals, I think, more than anything else. Okay, so and do the and by the way, these state visits, they should be restricted, I think. Because most likely, nothing much comes out of them, and that's the more or less, talking to or presenting themselves to figureheads more than like prime ministers and so on, who are the ones who really do the heavy lifting. Okay, so the things like that they should be circumspect about. But absolutely, politicians just seem to have a thin skin when it comes to criticism, and they should remember this is not kindergarten. Where I know some people, as a matter of strategy, always might start off with a little praise for something before they get into the heavy criticism. I tend not to do that.
Yeah.
From my experience, I know a teacher corrects what is wrong, not what is right, for a good reason. If you get something right, you know it and you've mastered it. If you get something wrong, that's where you need the attention. Okay? And for kindergarten and primary school and so on, it's important for psychologically that you be praised up and so on. But at this level, no. Face the tough questions and give. And by the way, I heard someone say, I think it was on the BBC, all right? In this day when you have so much propaganda and misinformation, okay, you must not only ask the questions, you must question the answers. So they got to toughen up. People got to toughen up.
I'm seeing here that there's a round table that says here, the round table, a special interview with Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence M. Drew, July 2nd, 2024, and it says here today at 12 p.m. So I guess this will be an opportunity to ask it.
Because I think there's a Carriacou meeting. There's a Carriacou meeting at 10 or something like that, I guess by Zoom. And that's the other thing too. You don't, in this technological age, you don't have to go to every meeting. You can use the technology, Zoom and whatever else.
Also, it has been postponed.
Meetings or hear or know what's going on. You don't have to be face to face. Sometimes it's required, but most times it's not. Okay. And there are lots of preceding technical meetings which have to be done before the final ones where things are signed off on and so on.
So you said the round table today has been postponed?
No. I think it was earmarked for 10 o'clock initially.
Also, it's 12
but
still.
But since the hurricane, I think the Carriacou heads might be meeting at 10.
Because I see here on ZIZ have it up still for 12 o'clock. Today at 12.
Right, so it's postponed to 12 o'clock instead of 10 that it was advertised for, I think. But let's... I think he uses, the Prime Minister uses this to report on foreign trips. I saw something there about him being out for most of the month. So I guess there will be a report on what the foreign trips and so on were about. But definitely, they got to be more circumspect with this. I mean, we're a small country. Trips can run into thousands and thousands of dollars, which can be spent elsewhere. Okay, so you got to be circumspect, and like I said, not every pan knock you go and attempt.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have these online facilities, as you say, make things easier. You can
Yeah.
engage with persons from across the world virtually.
Or your technocrat.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who I think gonna do the heavy lifting and the
I think the
execution
issue that a lot of persons have is that while the ministers travel, they post pictures of luxury, and many of the persons here in St. and Nevis face the day-to-day reality that it's hard. It's hard on the ground. You go to businesses. You go to businesses. Persons are complaining. You speak to the average person on the road, they are complaining. Yet you see ministers of government travel, man, with entourage, taking pictures. And persons look at that and they say, they are traveling, nothing is coming back, nothing of substance at least to make our lives any better. But yet they travel. So it's a slap in the face for many persons. And I don't think they understand that. I don't think they understand that.
It's either that or they just don't care and say, regardless, I'm doing it. Either is bad. Okay?
It's unfortunate.
The optics is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they really should do something about it rather than just dismiss it out of hand and say, well, I'm doing it. Anyway,
it's really very simple. Use criticism. Use criticism as lemons. Make lemonade. Do better.
But
that's what make lemonade means. Do better.
Exactly.
Have some self-awareness and do better.
Who might highlight this? The director of audit. Unfortunately, that's a year. Their report comes out a year after the fact. Okay, but a director of audit might point out, well, we spent so much on traveling and subsistence and so on as compared to what was done before. Because it would be interesting to make a comparison of then and now. Okay?
Yeah.
and to see. But there definitely should be guidelines on this travel thing.
I see Rusty here posting on the Facebook page. He says, you can criticize for criticizing's sake. Nothing is wrong with that. It is the response that matters. I know we haven't heard Rusty in a while, so if Rusty, if you want to call in and weigh in on your views on the program, I know we haven't heard you. I know there were posts made and comments made last week, but
But how do you criticize for criticizing's sake, though? It's either your criticism is valid or it is not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If it is not, then it can be easily rebutted. But if it is a valid criticism, then, as you said, the response the criticism is deserved, and an appropriate response should be given, right? But admittedly, right, it's always easier to criticize than offer solutions. And usually, one of the rejoinders by people being criticized is, okay, well, what are you going to do? What you would do? You could do any better, or but them used to do it too, right? Now, when you get to me, those are not valid responses to criticism.
Yeah.
Okay. In the first place, you take a job. Don't then ask me because I'm critical of some service that I'm getting. Don't then come tell me, well, you can't do no better. You are the one who went for the job, went after the job. So you are the one who is accountable. Okay, don't tell me no nonsense about, you're always criticizing or you never used to criticize so-and-so before for doing the same thing. No, that's childish. Okay? So, that should be 101 Azard for politicians, how to handle criticism. Right? I think that would make make for a good course for a politician, any politician, because time and time again you see that none of them are able to do so. And it's probably a good practice now while you're still in opposition for people to criticize you. Yeah. I'm sure there are some people who might find something to criticize you. Yeah. And rather than take it personally, respond in an appropriate way. Good practice for when you get in there.
Yeah. And of course, you take the criticisms, you take the praises, you take everything, and you try to make yourself better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Mhm.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Okay, then. Thank you so much for your contribution. So, yeah. So, a number of things happening in terms of... I felt that we had a whole long discussion on the thing that Jamdom brought up, you know.
Okay.
We have a call?
Let's take this call and
Okay,
then we will take
cool.
a quick break. It's 9:19. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, good morning.
I've been listening.
Yes.
Azard,
Yes.
the defense under criticism thing, I think that it ain't too much, you know. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, I am in a Kenya. Yeah. Sort of mind. See, this is what we're dealing with. People, the benefits for the people. Step on a wall. The POP revamp. This is on July, so we know the dividends in transit.
That's a good
The Prime
one.
Minister is proposing to tell us that we dead on the job because you're going to work to 67. It means nobody ain't get no money. Everybody going dead on the work. At the same time, in less than 2 years in office, the Prime Minister has secured himself a very comfortable 100 and something, probably nearly $200,000 a year for the rest of his life after serving only one term. But the people must work till they're dead. The advisor, or let me put it, the only named advisor to the Prime Minister recently brought a message. And the message he gave the people is that the government ain't owe them nothing. Who the message coming from? He is the only named advisor to the Prime Minister. He brought a message to the people that the government ain't owe them nothing. He used a big word. He said they are not entitled. They feel like they are entitled. He is saying government ain't owe you nothing. We, in agriculture, are moving forward. The government bring the supplies wherever they order them. It's we money. It's we business. All of them people is managers. They bring the supplies for farm. Price them at exorbitant prices. The people can't afford. It's cheaper many times to go to TVC. And TVC would give the farmer a 15 to 20% on all farm supplies. It is cheaper to go to TVC, who does not enjoy the privilege of the treasury and all the subsidies that government got and got pay nothing and pay less for supplies. No, the farmers cannot afford to buy the thing them. They ain't gonna drop the price. They're not gonna give them. They're gonna let them expire. And the thing is, you dump them. That is the program the government is on. Is who business, is who money, is the people money. It show you the abuse. We ain't ready yet. We need to be on the street. I know it's me one, but I'm going down Church Street. It is wrong. What's going on? You're telling the people that they ain't value. They ain't what? $500 a month. How much on all these trips, how much they pay, the double and triple dipping pay, is we don't know. Because that's what they are doing. They're finding creative ways to rob the treasury, to enrich themselves is the purpose of the walking abroad. And thank its people. Being so willy lynched is only think it's if the people confuse about the willy lynch thing. They know the plantation wasn't think it's, Between Parson Grower and Saddlers is what lynches. We are so conditioned. We ready to kill one another. God, man, watch you bad. But we sit and we grumble and take all the abuse from the people we give work to manage our affairs and say we can't do nothing. This is rising time. They say it, get rid of them. Is they who say it? If you ain't perform, they bring it, get rid of them. I am saying it's time for us to stop all this load of ranting, and if we are really so aggrieved, get rid of them. It's we business. None of them going in the pocket and taking $1. They're creating more and more ways to enrich them and themselves. And I am wondering also, what position does the wife hold? Everybody got wife in my mouth 1988. I would like to know what position the wife holds. That the wife is everywhere, all up in the business. For what? What she job be? We take a lot of things. We've been programmed to go under the establishment. And whatever them and Massa and the messengers bring, we humble. We talk behind the back and grin in front of the face. If we're ready, let's go. Change the government. Hit the streets is our rights. Get in a Kenya state of mind. Have a good day. Bless up.
Thank you for that contribution. A lot said wonderfully. Well, let me next say that's a wonderfully put this beam bias, but I mean, well put, Well
okay, let's
put.
take a quick break and we'll come back. It's 9:27.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Welcome to the Mango Festival. We got sweetness overload. Mango Festival. It's a treat for everyone. Mango Festival. A taste of name is naturally Mango Festival. Mango Fest right here in Green City. Give me little mango. A summer lime and a nut sweet. So give me little mango. Boy, girl, woman and man go. Give me little mango. A summer lime and a nut sweet. So give me little mango. Join the action, Mango Festival.
Nevis Mango Festival from July 4th to July 7th. 10th anniversary in Queen City, Nevis.
Mango Festival. Mango Fest right here in Queen City.
Feel the magic happening. Campari. Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
And guess what? We're gonna go straight back to the phone lines at
Yeah.
9:30. Go right ahead.
Yes.
Hi, good morning, Jamsa. Good morning,
Hey, what's up?
Azard.
Good morning.
Where did you do with Kortensia this morning?
Oh,
I've not heard
She's
of
off today.
She's
She's off on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, she has
for a while.
other duties. Yes.
Oh, guys. Yeah, I'm enjoying the program. I'm enjoying the program. I just want to put my 2 cents in, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just an observation. I noticed in the town, I noticed it, I think, Friday and
Yes.
yesterday, where someone is making the rounds and to really give the advert that, the administration is doing so well, in terms of certain subsidies and things of that nature. And I said to myself, action speaks louder than words. If the actual act was there, you would not have had you would not have really go to the length to really go make your rounds to let the people know this is what the government is doing.
You would have
People
felt
would have
it?
felt it.
Mm.
No?
Yeah. I
And
get
for
what
the
you're
fact
saying.
that the people are not feeling anything, you saw it fit to really play on the mind, the psyche of the people by going around and telling you, what Labour has done, and, Labour is the in thing. lies in a subliminal way. Because no one is feeling anything. In fact, it is the reverse way. So,
to be honest, right,
that caught
Africa.
my attention, and I decided I want to bring it to the floor.
Africa, I've never heard persons on the ground complain as much as I'm hearing now. To be honest.
Same here, actually.
And when you say these
It's
things,
tr- it's
persons
true, yeah.
make it seem as though you're making it political, but it's true. I go in to buy something, and you got conversation with persons, and persons are saying it's
And
really
easy, you know what
bad.
happens sometimes? Sometimes you get the impression it's like somebody was just waiting for an opportunity for this subject to be broached, for them to explode. No, seriously, that happens a lot. I remember one time we were going, me and a friend were going, we were going Frigate Bay, I think.
Yes.
No, we were going Southeast Peninsula, and we stopped by Frisco for a drink.
Yeah.
And I went to pick up my drink. He had already picked up
Yeah.
his. And I think a comment was made about the price of the beer, and the guy started in on the government, right? And I just exchanged a look with my friend because we were talking about the same thing in the car on the way to the
Yes.
thing. We were talking about like, boy, people saying this and so on. And then, so we go into Frisco and the guy just started like,
Yeah.
that was like a tripwire and we just kind of just exchanged a silent look, and like then we went back out to the car. I said, boy, we were just talking about that.
But I
one of the signs, one of the signals is that I want to encourage Mr. Edinburgh to come and pay often visit to the radio station, WINNMedia Family program, because this is where we will have a conversation, a balanced conversation. So I
Yes.
want to encourage him because he did meet me where I made a comment, and that they listen. According to President William Ruto of Kenya, they are listening. So I know he listens, and someone of interest would listen. But he needs to come back because there are so many errors, so many, things he would have said, and they would have said, and he has that responsibility, so to speak, to kind of rebut, to do damage control, so to speak. So, Mr. Edinburgh, we good. He's a taxi driver like myself, and we always have our sideline conversations. Yeah, but nothing is going on, and this thing is making its round, telling you how much Labour has done this and Labour has done that. But have the people felt any of it? I say no. Hell to the no. So that's just my observation.
Yeah, people.
Thanks for listening.
No problem. People are really, they're waiting, and it's like almost every area, every ministry person's dissatisfied. It's this level of this satisfaction is high. And one time I had just been packed up, waiting on a meal, and I heard persons, talking about how things rough. And at one point I was thinking, I wonder, did they see me? Did they know who I was? And maybe start talking. But that's how it is. People just talking about the performance and what is not happening. It's sad.
Let's take another call. Caller, go right ahead. 935. Hi, caller. Island T.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Oh, hey,
how
what's
you
up?
guys doing, man?
Hey, Beryl,
cool.
what's up?
Yeah, man. This is the type of discussion I like, man. That gentleman that called in,
Yeah.
the one that you said made a great contribution.
Well, he made a great summary. I mean, like, he really
Yeah,
summarized. Yeah.
That man, Johnston and Azard, man, you all need to make sure you save that soundbite from that guy. That guy has summarized what I've been saying all along, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you listen to people like that, man, you know.
And
you
the way he
just want
the
to
way
know,
he took
you just
it,
want to know if the people,
and the way he took the information, analyzed it, and presented it.
Yes, very, very articulated, man. You know, like the people on the ground, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, they have to analyze like this. We have the CBI program been running for 40 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people are now, because of all of this exposure now, right? The people are now seeing that the money did not either get down to the people like we supposed to in terms of dividends.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we look at this as if it was like natural resources, then, you know, the people will be getting returns.
Yeah.
And the flip side to that, we ain't seeing the development based on the amount of money they collected. Persons now are just trying to, and persons are just now getting an idea of how much money they wasted. Poor management. The money went everywhere except developing the country, into persons' pockets as well. And these politicians who are supposed to be the vanguard of that money, that program, they just like care less, man. They're reckless. They're carefree. You know, and the guy that spoke, he said that they're finding creative ways to get to that treasury, to that money. This is why, yeah, and Azard, I saw your post, man, on the frequent travel.
Yeah.
You know, I believe you should have maybe talked a little bit more about that because, you know, you made a great post on that topic, man.
Thank you.
You know,
It's all because,
and-
you know,
and-
Island Tea is intended to be a morning show, not intended to be,
political, like a
political
show for you, right?
Yes. So I have to be very careful, you know. But I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
express
So-
my
so-
views because my views are mine, right? But
Yeah, just
I have to
stick
make
your
a
views, man.
balance.
Just
Yeah.
stick to your guns, man. Don't let none of these oldsters, you know what I'm saying, intimidate you, man. Trust me on that.
But
you know, stand up to them and you show them that you got this knowledge. You're aspiring,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get there, man. You just gotta really have that backbone. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
A lot of people out here that like you, bro, and you can get far.
Thank you,
If
bro.
you know, just change that status quo for us, man. But before I get off real quick,
I appreciate it. Thank
that
you,
guy
man.
that spoke, that guy that spoke, when you sit and you analyze what he has said, you
Yes.
wonder what are the St. Kitts people doing, and Nevis people, the citizens, what are they doing? They're just sitting there like they're hypnotized. They gotta take an action and stand up against all of this allegation of corruption. They have to. If they don't get beyond that party politics, then nothing is gonna change. They have to come together collectively and make a statement to these politicians. If they don't, nothing will change. Like, this is the biggest scandal I've ever heard since I've got connected back to this political stuff. And if the people, this is the 6th week that these cases have been filed, and not one man moved in terms of a protest up to this day. So that means we are not taking this opportunity. Azard, you should probably ask your party leader to put on a demonstration, a peaceful demonstration. It's
Yes.
going to galvanize you guys. This is the way how you gain momentum. This is a perfect opportunity for party like your party and other persons in the community. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Those persons who, right before this government came in, who were so critical of the former administration,
Yes.
you know, look, with the government change, and then we have a bigger scandal. This is embarrassing. No matter what the Prime Minister say, that good governance agenda is under attack. And I just want the people in them to take an action. And that's all I want to contribute this morning, man. Thanks a lot, man. And keep up the good discussion, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you for your
welcome. You're welcome.
contribution,
Thanks,
man.
Jumpster, thanks, man.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
On to the next caller. Go right ahead.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. I'm calling to say something. No, if raising the minimum wage, if government raising the minimum wage would have made us better off, we would have been better off since the raising of the minimum wage. But minimum wage was raised by the government, and instead we are better off. Things are getting worse, and that has always been my argument over the years. Minimum wage are one of the factors that when government raise it, the people who work at minimum wage, they suffer the most because you're going to mess with the job a whole lot more and mess with them getting hired. And I've been saying this over the years, and there's a reason why the administrations before, for a number of years, did not raise it. Because people spoke to them, especially certain business people spoke to them and let them know the negativity of government raising the minimum wage. There are things that should be done to make the dollar purchasing power to be a whole lot higher. But raising the minimum wage is not one of it. It's very negative in the end to minimum wage workers. And like I said to Trevor, you said earlier, talking about Trump and Biden, that this is one reason why people should go to vote for Democrats. Well, Christians who are obedient to the Bible, I don't see how they could vote for any of the two parties, but especially
Yes,
for the
but
Democrats.
you have to be practical. But you have to be practical at the end of the day. How are you gonna? I mean, are you gonna? How is the country gonna run if you let the if you let the barbarians break down the gate?
But the barbarians
And
are
Russian
inside.
and
The
well,
barbarians are
yes,
inside
but
because anybody for abortion and saying
okay.
homosexuality
At the
is
very
so
least, you can gatekeep the barbarians, right?
But the barbarians are the gatekeepers. That's what I'm trying to tell you because the Democrats are saying, hey, it is okay for man to marry man, it's okay for abortion, it's okay for people to say that there is a woman when they have male genital.
Oh, and trust me, I don't agree with a lot of the craziness that I don't agree with a lot of the craziness. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree with a lot of the craziness that they support, but at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day we have to hold our noses and vote for what might be. I mean, I don't.
We don't have to, Trevor. We don't have to.
Well, hey, we had choices. We have to make a choice.
But those persons who don't vote, a decision is going to be made either way. I think that's what Jamster is trying to say.
Exactly. So
a decision made, but at least you would not be associated with it.
Yeah, but it's not about whether I'm associated with it or not. It's like choosing the less of two evils. Although you could argue that the Democrats are the worst. Are the worst of two evils in some aspects, but overall, I mean, you would prefer that the U.S. descend into a non-democratic cesspool, which would in turn affect us as well.
Again, fine time you're gonna say you're gonna legalize abortion and legalize man marriage and that's so you're already a cesspool, Trevor. Jamster. You're already a cesspool.
Yes, I understand. I agree, but I mean, at least the Democrats seem to. At least they seem. I don't know if it's performative or what, but at least they try to. They appear to be reasonable with a lot of things that matter. I'm not saying those things don't matter because definitely they matter.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have views on different things. All of us have different views on different things. The same views that you have, Gregory, you bring it up to Trevor, Trevor might disagree
I
with
mean,
certain things.
You're
You
a lawyer.
understand?
You're a lawyer. Didn't you find it strange that it took so long to rule on this immunity thing? I was wondering what they were going to pull out of their ass to help this guy.
Even in the
Because that ruling doesn't even make any sense.
But when you look at the selection of judges in the U.S.,
Sorry to you, Jamsa.
well, no.
So you agree with the ruling? That's what you're saying?
If I agree with the ruling, I don't think anybody should have immunity. If you do wrong, you do wrong. You should be prosecuted.
Okay,
For it. I
all
don't
right.
think anybody should have any, including police. Hold on, including police who have immunity.
But when you look at it, right, you look at the selection of judges in the U.S. and you see that, the president has a lot of say, or whoever was the president at the time have a lot to say in the selection of who sits on the Supreme Court. I think that America, I think overall America, the democratic system is good. Is it flawless? No. No system of government, no country is flawless. You understand?
John Adams said?
What's that?
The American founding father John Adams. You know what he said? He said democracy always commits suicide. It never lasts long.
But but democracy and our democracy, won't you say, is here now and it's going strong?
Our democracy is destroying us. That is one of the reasons why life's so hard here.
So what's the alternative?
Christian Sharia, I told you. He wants Christian Sharia.
Because
Trevor, that's another thing, Trevor. That's another thing. You talk about people criticize people. You see, because I say some things now, you're going to demagogue what I've said.
So you see, everywhere we go, we're going to have persons are going to have different opinions. You understand? And that is, in essence, what democracy is about. And coming down to what the majority view is, and going rather with the majority than maybe an absolute leader who says that these are the rules and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, you see, in a democracy, people in the end vote for who can promise them the most goodies, and that destroys the nation. When the people find that they could eat at the government trough, they're going to find that they're going to vote for who can give them the most in the government trough. There are
advantages and disadvantages to everything, because in the same light, if you're going to have a state that is a dictatorship, you could have a dictator who is very good. You could have when I say good, I mean seems fair and everything. At the end of the day, that person, whatever he or she says, goes. You understand? And you can have someone who is very malicious, someone who's very destructive, someone who's very evil. And so at the end of the day, even if you feel that you are unfairly treated, you have no say. You understand? At least with a democracy, you could persuade persons, and you have the power of your voice to persuade persons and opinions towards what you think is best.
But how are you going to persuade people who, when they have politicians promising them this and that, how are you going to persuade them that that is not for their good?
Well, then the same people can, one, not vote for the politicians who are promising this and that, and put up persons who they feel will be best able to serve them.
But in reality, what does the people do? The people go for those who promises them the most.
And then what
I mean, theoretically, you could say that, yes.
And,
but in reality...
And what does that say about the people then? The people have made their choice.
Because
But he also says they're selfish.
And I'm saying that destroys nation.
But Gregory,
and the nation is created by the people. The people make up the nation.
The self-centeredness, the selfishness has to be addressed too. In reference to people who vote based on their own.
If you tell people that you're going to get elected, you got to go.
But at the end of the day, Gregory.
No, but that's the thing.
Everything that we do, every system that's going to be in place, whatever system it is, there are going to be advantages and disadvantages. You understand? So
not when we do things the biblical way.
So you're not.
There's a biblical system.
Mm-hmm.
There's a biblical which we love to call Christian Sharia.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm just saying. No, when I say that, what I mean is, we're just not going to have our politicians doing things the biblical way. It's not going to be practical for them because one, they want to lie in their pockets. Two, They want to do all sorts of other unsavory things, and the Bible, if they do things the Bible way, that can't happen. So, I mean, take for example, something as simple as the fact that they're elected and now they have access to all these other women that they wouldn't have access to before. All of those kinds of things I had to not take advantage of. I can write a laundry list of reasons why what you're saying would not work.
But also too, Gregory, you do know that there are persons who live in St. Kitts and Nevis who might not hold the Bible in the same high regard that you do, and there might be a number of persons there, and so they have their views as well. And so we live in a society where we have persons of different views, and what we're trying to do is just create some sort of societal order, some sort of peace, some sort of stability. At the end of the day, that is what law and regulations are there for.
Perhaps the idea of the separation of church and state is about it's to skirt this very issue I just outlined, Gregory. And but it leaves to us to strive to be as moral as you can without necessarily complicating things with
religion. I guess you mean with religion,
with the Bible and all of that.
Because religion, when you look at religion and you look at persons have been divided years in time immemorial, centuries over religion. We look at the breaking away of the Church of England from the Catholic Church, and even that
was based on selfishness.
Well,
when you think about it,
yeah, but even
so it's hard to have respect,
even that
for institutions like that.
Even that, Gregory, you had monarchs. You know about Mary the First, the Queen of England.
You talking about Bloody Mary?
Yes, who led a massacre, death of many persons against Protestants. Just persons who believed in the same God but had different practices. And
okay. Let me say something. Let me say something. Let me say this. The Encyclopedia of War have named the different causes of war throughout the human history and have ranked them. And politics come before religion in causing war. Ethnic issue, I think, also came before religion in causing war. So we have this.
But religion has still been a cause of war.
But politics is in front of it.
No, but
you love politics. But so what I'm saying is that irrespective of what we believe, only the Bible has the answers. Only the Bible has the solutions, and it doesn't matter the difference in opinions. If we believe, like I believe, that the Bible is the Word of God, then there's nowhere else to run to for the solution and answers.
But Gregory, at one point in time, especially when you look at the medieval times, during the Renaissance period, between that, let's say medieval times, the church had a lot of power. And the church basically, even though the king was there, the king was seen as God's representative, and the Pope had significant power over these kingdoms still, and they still weren't perfect.
Because they wasn't following the Bible. But let me ask you a question. How could we have separation of church and state that a lot of people like to talk about, and we have a ministry of ecclesiastical affairs?
Well, who spoke about the whole discussion, as I can see, when it comes to separation of church and state, it basically stemmed from, I think in America, I think most of discussion had been that. We discuss it, but I don't think we have ever brought it to the fore here as a major discussion point by any political party or government.
Gregory, the irony of that Ministry of Ecclesiastical Affairs, in my opinion, is just another way to pay somebody a whole bunch of money.
Well, true. 100%. No argument with that.
You realize what's ironic about that, because there's nothing ethical or even moral about that, where you create a whole ministry just to pay somebody that really and truly could be handled by another ministry. It could be handled by social affairs or culture, perhaps.
For that, but nobody could come and tell me they believe in separation of church and state, and at the same time agree with the ministry of, having a ministry of ecclesiastical affairs.
Point taken there, Gregory.
I agree.
Yes, point taken.
But in the end, whether we believe it, yes or not, if you believe that the Bible is the word of God, if you really truly believe it, you would also believe automatically that there are nowhere else to go for the answers and solutions that we need in life, including in the area of politics, economics, and so on.
A lot of the ministries, I can make a case that they shouldn't even exist. A lot of them are just they're just means to pay to give people big salaries, and in some cases are redundant and
so true.
And you could make a case,
true.
yeah.
You're most correct. No argument there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in a higher number of them that are being worthless than what you do. But you're correct.
I think we might be on the same page with that one, actually.
So, Gregory.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Hey, we have, maybe we
don't know. It's funny. We don't. You see, we don't. we don't always disagree with Gregory. This is the thing. This is a funny thing. And there's a lot of stuff we see eye to eye on.
You're going to human nature in its essence. There are going to be things that you agree. There are going to be things that you disagree. It's just the way of life. No two individuals are like, not even twins, identical twins are identically the same, in terms of mind and thoughts and what they believe in. So that's...
So I wanted to play a little bit of the guy from...
okay.
I don't know if he's an expatriate or a tourist. But
we got 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Here we go.
We're here.
Okay.
So this is where we rode out Hurricane Beryl.
And let me know
Yeah, there was a roof.
where he was. The roof is gone.
Blew away. This is a story that I want to share, but it's going to be later on down the line. First, I want to show you and tell you about what happened out here. The island of Carriacou. And its people, most importantly, and why they need help as fast as you can send it. This is going to be raw. It's going to be dirty, but it's something you need to see. This island's shredded. Its people are in desperate need of help. This is just the start of it.
Right now, Carriacou is finished for a couple of years.
Oh my, trust me, you don't want to experience that. It was a crazy scene. Like a movie, yeah?
I experienced Ivan already, but this one look like more worse.
It's worse.
Yeah, this worse.
It's bad. Something like Ivan. Same way, Ivan. I seen it in Grenada. It didn't happen up here, but my uncle, his name is Winston Simon. He say every 20 years, we usually have something like that. And we built that hotel 24 years ago. And he right on time now. And normally they're coming through. So we could look out for another one. Hopefully it's not. But we'll see what happens.
If you watched my video when I first arrived less than a day ago, it's hard to believe at this point that it's been less than a day I've been here on the island. But I walked over to the beach here and there was a gentleman digging on the sand for his apartment building here. He was trying to block the door. It looks like their building did okay.
You want to talk to you?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Alive.
Was it as you expected yesterday? You hadn't been through one, now you have.
I wasn't expecting this. Nothing prepared you for this.
You didn't prepare?
Nothing prepared you for this.
Are we strong?
Listen, we still alive.
We will live with it. We will rebuild.
The thing about it, money does come and money does go. It's called cash flow. That is why you make it. You make it to spend it, not to keep it. I mean, you don't want to spend it. You don't want to spend it this way, but I prefer to spend it to rebuild than to spend it for health. This is saddening. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't have any, but this is saddening because somebody else is going to experience this later today, tomorrow. And the thing is, we have 3 systems right behind us. What about the people who don't have the time to recover, who don't have a roof over their heads, who don't have the resources to rebuild.
Wow. Okay, man. So we could probably play the rest of that. This is very interesting. This is even better than I thought. And that's just about 3 minutes.
Okay.
I love when he said, the man asked him, "So how are you?" He said, "Alive."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The accent.
And he said there are 3 systems. I have to go and look into that. He said there are 3 No. You didn't hear it. He said, "Yeah, I have to go and I'll send it to you."
No, is
oh my God. Wow. So
yes,
it's 10 o'clock. So
yeah, it is.
That's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna send this to you. This is very interesting, actually.
I was trying to
have to play the rest of this tomorrow.
I was trying to visualize the area as he spoke, because you could hear the breeze, the wind in the background, and could tell he's outdoor.
And you know, you kind of lose the power of when you consider the fact that you weren't seeing the video as they spoke. So there's this aerial shot of all these buildings with the roof gone.
Yes,
you know,
I would have missed all of that.
And wow, he's saying 3 systems behind that. I have to go and look into that because we haven't heard anything about that. So that's scary. You heard what he said. It comes.
Yeah.
That's what he said. So I'm gonna have to, because it's something we have to go look into. Okay, so that's gonna do it for today's show. So we'll have for all the Kortensia fans. She'll be with us tomorrow.
Yes, she shall be. She shall be. Oh wait. Lavi said, "Please to read my comment." I'm trying to find her comment. But you saw her on the Facebook page. You saw her comments. Jams. Oh no, you're not there.
On the Facebook page.
Trying to see. She said that she had a comment. Let me see. Before we go, let me see what comment she's referring to quickly. Yes, there are many comments today. We had like. Okay. She said here, even if one agree, people Bible belief is just the opinion and nothing more. That's one her comment. And she says here, think this is the only place that have callers calling every day quoting the Bible. So much other things need to be addressed, like creating jobs and opportunities for the people. Okay, so those were her comments.
Okay, so guys, so that's gonna do it for Island TV. We hope you guys enjoyed it and that you'll join us tomorrow.
Tomorrow, same time,
yeah,
same place.
Have a great
God's
day.
willing, you know.
Okay.